Time is never easy when you're alone.
Hello everybody, my name is Tony Soto and I am with the Q.co, and today I am talking to Pip from Ladyhawke, who will be coming to Chicago and performing at the Bottom Lounge on September 16th. Hello Pip, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Are you pretty excited about your trip to Chicago?
Yeah, I can't wait. I didn't manage to get to Chicago last time, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So this is going to be your first time?
I think so. I'm racking my brain and trying to remember, and I'm pretty certain I haven't been before, but someone may recall differently.
You have a fairly large LGBTQ following here in Chicago. I wanted to know, how has your work evolved as an artist over the last year with the release of Anxiety?
I sort of, after my first record came out, I ended up touring it for 2 years, and that whole experience was quite really full on, intense 2 years, and then I sort of was really exhausted, so took a massive break, and in that time I reflected, I guess, on the first record and all the touring and everything I'd done, and I think the amount of intensive touring I did in that 2 years really changed my singing voice quite a bit, and because I was just singing every day basically, and it strengthened my vocal cords. And then as a songwriter, I felt a lot more confident in myself, and when it came time to write the second record, I felt more confident as a songwriter and as a performer, and that was something I never had before. I was always very shy and not so sure of myself, and quite scared, and I definitely feel with this record, even though there was, the album's called Anxiety, there was a lot of anxiety and stress tied up in this record, but it definitely, I felt like a more confident person writing this one, yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, you have a pretty big LGBTQ fan base. Do you have any words on that, or any opinions on why you feel like you touch such a big queer fan base?
It's always been like that for me, and I love that. It's awesome, and I think my music, I never sing about anything gender specific, because I myself, I don't subscribe to gender stereotypes, and I never have. I always wanted to sort of portray myself as me, as the person you see on the TV or in an interview is actually me, and I'm not trying to make myself look different. And I've never liked wearing girly clothes or dresses. I just don't feel comfortable, and I'm quite a tall person. And so, because, I was always really self-conscious about my height, so I've got horrible posture as a result. And I look ridiculous. I look ridiculous if I dress up girly, and I would never do that anyway, because it makes me feel really weird. But and B, I just don't want to do it. It's just not me at all. So I've always worn I'll wear girls' jeans, because men's jeans, the crotch is too low. but t-shirts and boots, and I'll always wear men's shoes and men's t-shirts and jackets. But they just look better on me. And I don't think it makes me look I don't think it takes away any aspect of my femininity. It just is my own identity, and I think a lot of people probably can relate to that, and maybe people like that I don't subscribe to any sort of pop stereotype, I guess. You've got to rock your own look however you want.
Let's talk about when you're on tour, because you just came off this massive tour. So what are some things that you miss about home when you're on tour? Because obviously you're not from around these parts.
Yeah, I I'm a person who loves home comforts, and I guess I've been calling London my home for the last wee while, and it's sort of lost that homely sense for me lately because I'm never there,
right.
And when I am there, I'm alone, and it can be quite hard because I'll just be sitting in my flat alone, going, oh, I'm not on tour, and I'm bored, and I'm playing video games all day, and I haven't seen the sun for a long time because I'm in London. So I'm actually considering moving over here to the States. I miss home. I feel like I'm kind of homeless at the moment, though. Home is wherever my suitcase full of stuff is, I guess.
So, is there anything else going on in your career now, Pip? Are you working on any other exciting projects outside of your music?
I always want to do other stuff, and I never have time to do it. I love songwriting, and I've always wanted to write music for other people, and so that's sort of what I've been getting into lately. Just writing pop songs or whatever, like trying to put ideas down, and that's sort of something I always wanted to build up for when I'm, for when between Ladyhawke stuff. When I have time, I can, work with people on their music, and there's a side project I've actually been wanting to do for the last, I can't even remember, like 5 years or something, with a really good friend of mine from New Zealand, and he's been based in the UK for a long time as well, but we never get time to do it because he's always on tour, I'm always on tour, and it's really frustrating, but that will be awesome when it eventually happens. But, yeah.
In what way has your musical career shaped your relationship to your identity as a queer person, as someone who lives in the LGBTQ community?
I don't know. I've always been like, I guess music has been a way that I've always expressed myself, and I was a really shy teenager, and quite sort of I don't know, like I've never really known how to communicate that well with people, and so music is one way. I guess doing this is a way that I can communicate my personality to people without actually having to say much. Many aspects of my life, like, if there's crap going on in my head, or if I'm feeling insecure about stuff, I don't know, I find I tend to be more open in my music. For me, that's being more open than sometimes I am in real life. Like, like friends will listen to my lyrics and be like, so what are you singing about? What does that mean? You've never told me about that. And I'm like, oh, I don't really like talking about stuff, so I write it in songs. And it really helps. It's really cathartic, It feels like when you're writing a song, it's like a therapy session, For me, like playing music, I started playing music in school, and that was, I know this sounds really weird, but I got invited to more parties. It sounds so weird, like people like music everywhere, and it seems to translate, and that was my only way of communicating with these kids at school. And despite all the, being off school a lot for being sick, or like having weird things, all that shit, despite all of that, like, music was the one thing that seemed to communicate more to the kids at my school than anything else. So it's always sort of helped me that way. It's been a good communicating tool for me.
You have a big fan base in the States that understand and love your music.
Oh, I always loved touring here. It's so good. The people are awesome. Always really happy and positive, which is a really, it's really nice not to. I don't see any cynicism, which you sometimes see in other places.
Well, we're used to acting like everything's fine,
I love that though. Even right down to, like, if you go to a restaurant, the service is so good.
That's because they're all actors in LA, honey. They're all performing for you.
True.
They're all performing.
That's so true. And I don't mind that at all.
Me either.
Even though you're putting on a smile, it's making me feel good.
Absolutely. Lie to me. I'm a big fan of it. Well, Pip, I want to thank you again so much for chatting with us. Listen, everyone in Chicago, check out Ladyhawke at Bottom Lounge, September 16th. She is amazing, and I want to thank you again for chatting with me.
Oh, Oh, no worries. No, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll look forward to seeing you on September 16th.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.